Lou, though, had risen early for her mission of Skulduggery, and patiently spent an hour polishing the chrome wheels of her racing bike. Staring with pride at the shiny rims, a loud engine noise was suddenly heard coming from a paddock behind the barn. This was the moment she had been waiting for, and with round eyes glinting craftily, she forced a genuine-looking, amazed expression to cross her face. Continuing with a facade of trickery, Lou dropped the polishing cloth, ran indoors, and headed straight for Harry's bedroom. Noisily bounding up the first set of stairs 3 at a time, she paused for breath before shouting urgently up towards the attic. "Quick, Harry, quick! A helicopter's landed in the paddock!" There was a momentary silence. A dreamlike state had been shattered by this early morning sliver of unusual information, backed by the distant sound of an engine. 1 second later, though, the pyjama-clad juvenile leapt out of bed. He was bleary-eyed but desperate not to miss the once-in-a-lifetime event, and half ran, half fell down the stairs. Harry was passionate about aircraft, and in particular loved helicopters. It seemed almost too good to be true that parked in his paddock were the sagging blades of a stationary Sea King, or better still, twin rotors on a Chinook helicopter. Harry's mind rattled through several possible explanations. The local aerodrome was only a few fields away. Perhaps the copter had been forced to make an early touchdown due to mechanical failure. Harry recalled a hot air balloon the previous summer. It had ended its flight in the very same field, and was collected later by Land Rover and trailer. His dad had done very well out of that unexpected grounding, to the tune of £20 and a bottle of whisky from 8 grateful balloonists for use of the emergency landing pad. This helicopter, though, was far more exciting, and would mean that 2 flighted aircraft had visited the same spot inside a single year. Incredible, thought Harry, feeling an excited shudder as he bounded on down the stairs, clean jumping the bottom 3 steps. Grabbing the hall door frame with one hand, set up an easy pirouette into the sitting room, and a split second later, by pulling back on the chair arms for extra speed, he shot past the settee. The spring loading effect catapulted him across the dining room, blazing a trail which almost scorched the carpet. In the kitchen, Harry hesitated to consider the possible application of footwear. His mind quickly registered that Lou was already outside and had begun mounting her bike in the rush to the grass field. Adrenaline coursed through his body at the thought that she might get there first, or even worse, the helicopter could take off before he had a chance to see it. "No," came the firm answer. There was no time for shoes and coats, nor for the mounting of bikes. A quick barefoot sprint to the paddock was his best bet, ensuring he arrived at the scene before Lou even built up speed on her bike. It was not far, and Harry was a fast runner. The first few steps outside saw him scowling and springing on tiptoes as grit scratched both feet, but he knew that only a few strides further on was the soft verge, and then came long and slightly coarser meadow grass leading fieldward. The only possible helicopter landing pad was just out of sight around a corner of the barn. Within seconds Harry had passed Lou on her bike, struggling to get going on thick tufty grass, just as he had suspected. Her front wheel wobbled dramatically, and Lou's face was furnished with what appeared to be a look of helpless desperation. She eyed him sprinting by and grimaced. "Yes," thought Harry triumphantly, "I'm going to get there first." The evil smirk of trickery which flashed across his sister's face the second he turned away, however, remained unseen. Running on ahead of Lou, the bottoms of Harry's nightclothes were soon wringing wet, lashed by dewy stems. The uptake of water began to stretch his PJs as the soggy cloth became more and more of a drag. Harry's heels trampled the bottoms of both pyjama legs, inching them down with every stride, and the awkward feeling was slowing him down for sure. What if Lou overtook now, he contemplated. It would be disastrous. A rapidly pounding heart thumped hard against the inside of his chest as each leg was extended in determination. "Only another 100 yards, he told himself. "Keep going. It will be worth it. I might get to sit in the pilot's seat when the crew realise how knowledgeable I am about aviation. This galvanising thought spurred Harry on to run even faster, but water had wicked up past both pyjama knees by now, and soft wet fabric began sticking to his legs. It was causing the drier top section of Jammy Bottoms to stretch more and more from his waist downwards. Lou shouted enthusiastically from close behind, "Hurry! The helicopter's just round that corner! We don't want to miss it!" Harry felt frantic as suddenly there was a noticeably louder engine noise emanating from the back of the barn. "It's taking off!" he yelled in panic, and twisted to check that his sister was still following on her bike. At that precise moment, both feet became catastrophically tangled within the sodden legs of his nightwear. Dragging wet cloth quickly overcame all resistance from the stretchy pyjama waistband, which was ripped down violently to a point just above his knees. Elastic tightened around tired legs and clamped them together to initiate a headlong trip. Stumbling first and then lunging forward at full tilt, Harry was in freefall. Both kneecaps struck the wet surface with a thud, and his hands shot out instinctively in front. Eyes focused on a sea of fast approaching greenery, but grass was not the only thing in sight. 3 feet ahead was a huge dolloping cowpat, into which both Harry and his face were about to uncontrollably slither.